You ever just stop and think about it? If time travel is ever going to be a thing, why aren't we tripping over tourists from the future? It's a massive question, right? Well, today we're going to dig into one of the coolest and most surprising answers to that exact paradox. All right, let's get into it. So yeah, this is the big mystery. I mean, just think about it for a sec. If we humans stick around for another 1,000 years, 10,000 years, you know someone's going to crack time travel. And wouldn't their first stop be, well, us? Our crazy, fascinating time? But nothing. Not a peep. So where are they? Look, we're a pretty clever bunch, right? We've got rockets, we've got AI that's getting smarter by the day, we even have quantum computers. We've done some amazing things. But there's this one huge invention that's still just missing. The big one. The time machine. All right, section 1. A shocking discovery. The rules of the road. So let's do a little time travel of our own. Picture this. Way in the future, some genius scientists finally do it. They crack the code. They build the machine, flip the switch, and whoa! They discover something they absolutely did not see coming. A fundamental rule of the road for time travel. And here it is. The big shocker. You can't just travel back to any time you want. Nope. All those sci-fi movies about visiting ancient Rome or watching the dinosaurs, turns out they might have it all wrong. These future scientists realize you can't just hop onto the timeline wherever you feel like it. There are rules. So what does that actually mean? Well, for one thing, no dinosaurs. And forget about seeing the pyramids being built either. And get this, not even to right now, not to our time. All of the past, up to a very specific moment, is totally off limits. So here's the first big rule they discover. You can only travel back to the moment the time machine was first turned on. Think of it like a phone call. You can't call someone in the 1800s, right? Why? Because they don't have a phone to answer. Time travel, in this theory, works the same way. You need a receiver in the past. You can only travel to a time that already has a time machine waiting to receive you. Okay, next section, the time travel door. Let's call it a tunnel through time. To really wrap our heads around this, let's use an analogy. It's a really good one. Forget the machine for a second and just think of time travel as a tunnel. So here's how it breaks down. 1, think of time travel as a tunnel. Pretty simple. 2, one end of that tunnel, one door, is in the future, where the traveler is. 3, but the other door has to exist in the past. And here's the kicker, number 4. If the past doesn't have a door, well, the tunnel just can't connect. It leads nowhere. It's a dead end. This timeline makes it super clear. Look, right now, in our time, the door is shut, locked. But let's say in the year 2150, we finally do it. We build the first time machine and we switch it on. Boom. At that exact moment, the door opens. And from that point on, anybody from the year 2300, 5000, whenever, they can now travel back, but only as far back as 2150. That becomes the new year 0 for time travel. And that right there is the answer to our big question. The reason we're not seeing future tourists is because here in our time, our door isn't open yet. The future literally can't walk into our world because there's no doorway for them to walk through. All right, so moving on. 3 other theories exploring the alternatives. Now, that time travel door idea is super elegant. I love it. But it's not the only game in town. There are a few other theories floating around that try to explain the same thing. So let's just quickly run through them. Okay, so first up, you've got the secret theory. This one says time travelers are here, but they're in disguise, just observing us and making sure not to interfere. Then there's the dangerous truth theory. The idea here is that time travel gets invented but is immediately banned because it's just way too risky. Change one little thing in the past, and you could wipe out your own existence. And then there's the really out there one, the simulation idea, which says we're all living in a giant computer simulation and, well, the admins just don't allow visitors. Okay, so our final section, the visitors are waiting, the simplest answer. Now, those other ideas are really fun to think about, for sure. But there's a reason we focused on that first one, the door theory. It's because of a little thing called Occam's razor, which basically says the simplest explanation is usually the best one. And really, what could be simpler than this? The simplest answer doesn't need secret visitors, or future cops banning time travel, or us living in the Matrix. It's just, we haven't built the time machine yet. The door is closed. The future can't get here because there's no here for them to arrive at. But that leaves us with this incredible, kind of mind-blowing thought. It means time travelers might not be a fantasy at all. They're just waiting for us to open the door. And the day humanity finally turns on that first machine, well, that's when the visitors will arrive.